Welcome to our session on strategic leadership principles. And today I want to speak to you of the importance of consolidating organisational cultural change. Though continuous change is part of our life in the 21st century, there however must be a period of consolidation that allows for these changes to establish themselves. If this doesn't happen, people will live in a state of turmoil. Now, Lewin called this the refreezing aspect of an organisation. Titch calls it the reweaving of social fabric of the organisation. Now, though change is very much part of the 21st century, people and organisations cannot live on the adrenaline of change forever, and nor can you as a leader. Change must be followed by a period of stability and consolidation of the gains achieved by transformational change before you can move to the next transformational change project. The social fabric of the organisation has to be spun into a new garment. It cannot be left as an unravelled mess. By the time people reach the end of transition of change, they're looking for a new structure, new strategies and culture to strengthen and stabilise the organisation. They're looking for a framework or culture in which to act. If the new culture of change is not strongly established in people's life, they will regress to the old ways of doing things. Now, this will happen slowly at first, but as time goes on it will speed up, and within 2 years the old culture will be intermixed with the new one, and you'll have a hybrid culture, not what you had before and not quite what you wanted. Organisational culture refers to the shared values and expectations and behaviours of a group of people. It's a very powerful thing. It can actually exist and flourish even when there has been a complete change of membership in an organisation. Now, one of my seminars in New Zealand, an Anglican vicar related this story about the impact of not having organisational culture firmly established, with the old organisational culture still alive and well in the midst of a seemingly successful new organisational culture. Now, the Anglican vicar told me about another vicar who took on a new church, and to facilitate transformational change that God was leading him, it was necessary to rearrange the position of the furniture in the church. Now, he found that all the furniture, with the exception of the pews, was bolted to the floor. To move the pulpit and the baptismal font, the vicar needed permission from the bishop, which to his delight he received. The vicar went ahead and unbolted the pews and moved everything into a new position. Now, very pleased with his successful transformational change, he continued along the new path of transformational change for 12 years, thinking all was well. But he failed to notice that there was a serious heartfelt issues of tension within the church. At the end of 12 years, he accepted another calling to another parish. The day the vicar left, the caretaker of the church and the other members of the church came and bolted the furniture right back in the same spot it had been 12 years before. If we have not effectively dealt with issues of tension, transformational change will not last. We need to give time and effort to ensure that the old behaviour patterns have been successfully replaced by new agreed upon behaviour and patterns, that the old culture has been successfully replaced by new agreed upon culture. Now, often as leaders, we forget the value of recognising and celebrating short-term achievements to bring about organisational cultural change. Now, we need to understand that people repeat, maintain behaviour that is recognised and celebrated, and they'll avoid, drop or forget behaviour that is not recognised or celebrated. Now, while private recognition such as personal phoning and thanking people for their contribution to an organisation mission, writing a letter inviting them to a small office party is important, they do little to set an example for others to follow. Building a culture is about people following an example or a model, and that's why it's so important to publicly recognise people's contribution and achievements. Public recognition builds people's self-esteem, empowers them. Confident and empowered followers bring about 80 to 90% of an organisational cultural change, and the leader does the rest. The director of OMF Canada related this story to me that shows the importance of the impact of public recognition. Now, he was invited to speak at another missionary organisation in Toronto, Canada. Now, this organisation had just moved to a new building. Evidently, it was quite a marathon task. And just before the director of OMF rose to speak, the director of the missionary organisation stood up with a bunch of bananas. He then proceeded to call out each one of his staff by name and to publicly thank them for their individual contribution in assisting in the move and setting up the new offices. He gave each one a banana. Following this, they went on a walk through the new premises. The director of OMF said the impact on the staff was amazing. Each one had a sense of pride and satisfaction and ownership of the new premises. See, it's amazing what public recognition can do, even if it's getting a banana. Thank you for listening. May God bless you today. Amen.